Hey, man. So, Moriah did the 5 tips on how to be a good wife video the other day, and a lot of people asked, could we do a similar video about husbands? And the truth of the matter is, no, because being a husband is completely different than being a wife. But we thought we'd give it a shot, and we actually just attempted it, and it took 22 minutes. I've got a 22-minute video about my views on husbanding, and we may or may not upload it. I don't know. It's very, very long and rambling, but we're going to try to condense this one back down in. So 5 tips to be a good husband. Forget that. It's not going to be 5 tips. These are 5 big, grand, 30,000 feet views on how I think you have to be a good husband. If we do upload the other video and you watch it, you'll hear some of the background and foundation for some of this stuff. But I would say the first thing a husband needs to do to be a good husband is jealously guard his position in the home. And in his wife's life specifically, jealously. And I don't believe jealousy is a bad thing, especially when it comes to your wife. If something's precious to you, you guard it and hoard it and keep it from others. And your wife should be precious to you, and she should definitely be hoarded. And to that end, that's pretty all-encompassing right there. I've got the tomahawk for a reason. We'll talk about it in a minute. Although I do just walk around holding it. I really like it, but I'm not doing that this time. I'm not a big fan of women having jobs outside the home. I don't have a problem with women earning income. The Proverbs 31 woman was a businesswoman. She was into real estate. She was running some sort of factory, and she was selling goods and dealing with merchants. So I don't have a problem against women earning money and contributing to the economic health of the home. I have a very big problem with a woman having an authority over her other than her husband. And in the modern world, and by the way, I have a big problem with men having authorities over them too, to be honest with you. The whole modern economic system is screwed up. But men are built to withstand it better, and it won't undermine a marriage if a man has that authority over him outside the home. I believe it's destructive for a woman to have a male authority over her outside, any authority over her outside the home. And if she has a job outside the home, that means she's going to have some male authority over her at some point. And I think that is very, very, very destructive. So if I would tell a husband, you need to be working very hard to not have to rely on your wife having a job outside the home. If you have to change your lifestyle, change your hobbies, declare bankruptcy. I don't. That doesn't bother me. In this modern world, our modern economic system is so screwed up and corrupt that. If you have to legitimately declare bankruptcy, not just because you're robbing people, but if you have to declare bankruptcy to clear some debt and change your lifestyle, that doesn't bother me. I would say this: you need to, in your mind, always say, "Daddy's got this." It is your responsibility. It is your obligation, no matter what it is. Excuse me. There's nothing that touches your home that you don't have to answer to God for, and so there's nothing that touches your home that shouldn't have your stamp on it. Now, there's certain things. I mean, you don't need to be in there, underwear shopping for girls or something. But you need to set the standard for how they dress, how you guys eat, what you drive. I mean, everything is under your purview, and at no point will you be able to go to God and say, but the woman you gave me. No, if she refuses to follow, that's fine. That's on her. That's her rebellion. But you can never go to God and say, or anyone and say, oh, that woman refuses. If she refuses, you look her in the eye and you say, I love you, I'm your husband, you are in rebellion, you are out of a fellowship with me. Don't rage, don't fight, don't try to kick and scream and force her to do what you want. That doesn't work in this day and age. I wish we lived in a world where it did, but we don't. You just look her in the eye and say, I love you, I'm your husband, you're out of fellowship, you're out of rebellion, you're on your own. On this one, I'm having nothing to do with it. She will eventually either leave you, which we think that's a failure. In our modern world, we say, oh, if a woman leaves, the man's a failure as a husband. No, it probably means she's a failure as a wife. And there's a good chance that your wife could leave you and you were being an excellent husband, because most women don't want a good husband. They don't. They want a man they can lord things over and have moral authority over them, and they need a failure of a man to do that. And if you're being a good husband and a good man, a lot of women are just going to want to get away from that, because that means you know, then they have to be a good woman and a good wife. Anyway, I'm sorry. Daddy's got this. What else? Jealously guard your position in the home. Don't be afraid to be the bad guy. One of your main jobs certainly as a father, but maybe also as a husband is to be the bad guy. You know, someone's got to hold that line and set the standard and say this far and no farther. And the husband is the one to do that. None shall pass. You know, either way, the bad guys aren't coming in, good guys aren't getting out. None shall pass. What else? You got to take the bullet. You know, if someone's going to take the bullet, you got to take the bullet. In the modern world, that may just mean you kill the spiders, but you got to take the bullet. If there's danger or discomfort or hardship to be borne, you need to bear it. We'll get to the tomahawk real quick because I need to wrap this up. The last one was 22 minutes. You are a tomahawk. I love tomahawks. Love them. They're my favorite tool. And it's because they are just such rawly masculine. They are a tool for building, for working. They are a weapon for protecting and sometimes even destroying. They are simple. They are basic. They are durable. They are flexible. You are a tomahawk. Your primary purpose is to build and protect, but every once in a while that means you've got to fight and destroy. But not your wife and children. Sometimes you have to fight your wife and children, but to save them, not to destroy them. Here we go again. I'm getting way off track. There was something I wanted to say now, and I forgot it. And it's important and it's big. I don't know. I guess maybe it just goes underneath the bad guy. Be willing to be the bad guy outside your home. You know, this goes into the whole revolting man thing. You have to be willing to be hated everywhere. I have a good relationship with my in-laws. My father-in-law is a wonderful man. My mother-in-law is a good woman. But you have to be willing for your in-laws to hate you. You have to be willing for your parents to hate you. My parents are good people. We love them. We get along with them. They're not completely comfortable with everything we believe, and they've made that clear. And you have to be okay with that. You got to decide, you know what, I'm countercultural. You know, the world at large, you know, they don't believe marriages should last. They don't believe children should be raised by their parents. They don't believe that husbands have a role and wives have a role, and there's a bigger picture we have to fulfill. You know, they think the world at large, you know what, that's what I want to say. Marriage is not about fulfillment. It is not about how happy you are. It's not about, you know, if you're having great sex. It's, you know, marriage isn't about these two people making each other's lives better. All right, marriage is a very, very big sacred picture, and it has absolutely nothing to do with your happiness or personal fulfillment. You don't get married so you can have a nice life. You know, oh, I don't have to be alone now when I live the rest of my life. When I'm done living my life, I get to come home and there's someone there. And he washes the dishes and takes out the trash on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, and I do it on whatever's not Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That's not what marriage is about. There are deep spiritual truths here, and really, to be a good husband, you need to figure those out. So there you go. If I had to boil that down to one thing, I would say, tell a man, know your role, know how important it is, and jealously guard that role. Don't let other men into your home in any capacity. As far as spiritual authorities or physical authorities, you don't cede that control or that authority or that role to anyone for any reason. You are the man, literally. In your home, you are the man, and that you can't run around with the blunt end of the tomahawk beating people on the head. Like I said, it might be a better world if we could, but we're not there right now. You've got to be that rushing river that just encompasses everyone and is that steady pressure, and is flexible but unstoppable. I don't know. Now I'm getting far afield, but there you go. I think I am going to upload both these videos and see what you got. You guys do what you want with them. That 22-minute one was a bit long though, and I have a sneaky suspicion this one's getting long. It's not 5 tips. It's not as clearly organized or easily implemented as Moriah's. But there you go. Do with it what you may, man. Thank you.